We are just days away from election night in Minnesota, and although it's an off-year election, there are still a lot of important decisions that will be made by voters. Things like school funding, and in Minneapolis, some tight and closely watched races for city council.
And depending on the outcome, there could be a big shift in the power in the city. Danny Spiewak is here with a look at what's at stake. Danny?
Randy and Julie, all 13 council seats are on the ballot in Minneapolis this year, but the outcome of just a couple races could determine whether Mayor Jacob Frey will be able to implement his agenda.
It's all eyes on the Minneapolis City Council next week.
There's not a lot on the ballot except for the city council. These are critically important races. People running for the city council are running to do some very core functions.
Mike Erlandson is the former chair of the Minnesota DFL.
So there's a lot at stake, and voters really need to make sure that they participate on Tuesday.
There's one person who will be watching very closely.
What this election really does kind of boil down to is how strong of a hand is Mayor Jacob Frey going to have.
As MinnPost Twin Cities reporter Kyle Stokes explains, Mayor Frey tends to face opposition from a more progressive wing of the council, like Ward 2's Robin Wansley. But with the support of more centrist members and a few swing votes, he typically enjoys a majority.
And after this election, that balance of power could shift any one of a number of ways.
With issues like policing and rent control hanging in the balance, outside groups are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. The group All of Minneapolis is supporting candidates more aligned with the mayor, while Minneapolis for the Mini is supporting the more progressive candidates. One major test is that of Council President Andrea Jenkins, whose challenger Soren Stevenson has the endorsement of both the DFL and the Democratic Socialists.
That race certainly encapsulates a lot about what's going on in Minneapolis politics right now.
The wild card is voter turnout. In 2021, 54% of registered voters cast ballots in Minneapolis, but that election had a mayoral race and major ballot questions.
I think that we'll have low turnout, and that's going to be anybody's bet to see how things turn out on Tuesday.
In 2021, you might remember that voters approved a strong mayor's system in Minneapolis, a change to the city charter, giving Mayor Frey more executive power and control. But the council remains very important as the city's legislative branch, especially during the budget process. Julie.
That's going to be